and welcome back to our channel. I'm Anna.
I'm Cassidy.
I'm Becca.
And we're the Try Hard Girls. And welcome back to another Sit and Sip episode. You guys know that these are our favorites to record. Well, honestly, any of these are my favorites, but as long as I'm listening and talking to you guys. So.
We love pop culture, so honestly, yeah, I would agree. Sit and Sips definitely are probably our favorite to film. And this Sit and Sip, guys, we have so much to unpack.
I just want to give a little plug because last week's episode where we reviewed the movie Desperados, we were on point, everybody. And if you want another good episode to watch, that would be it because we were on point, hilarious, and great moods. So
we really
after this one, definitely head over to that one if you haven't listened yet.
Remember, you guys can listen to us on the go, so make sure you're following us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. because y'all can listen to us in your car, beep beep.
I hope everybody had a really good week. I know it's been a long week honestly, this week went by really, really, really fast. So I actually want to start this episode off by sharing a little funny story that happened to me this week. And it involves Becca and Cass. On Wednesday, I received a text message from a random number saying, "Hey, Anna, call me." If you know me, you know that if I don't know your number, I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to answer. If it's important, you're going to leave a message. I know Becca believes the same thing. So I, of course, screenshot it and sent a text to Cassidy and Beck saying, "Hey, do you guys know who this is?" After I already replied to that number saying, "Who is this?"
And I also said, "Who is this?" to that person. And when Anna responded with that photo, which I'm glad you did because I would have never known. By the time she responded with that photo, I was like, I don't know who this is either. And I blocked them on my iPhone.
In the past, whenever we get a missed phone call or a text and we know that we might have the same contacts, I ask them. And in the past, they actually do have the number of the person that I'm asking for. Like, oh, it's so-and-so. So I thought that's what I was going to do this time. And apparently I was wrong. So I call the number thinking that I've been scammed. I'm like, oh my God, I reply to it. Do you think it's already taking my information? Does the FBI know my deepest, darkest secrets? And so I call the number off of my office, my work office phone, because I'm not trying to get my phone hacked. You guys, someone answers the phone and it's music playing. And all of a sudden I put two and two together after I get a text message that says, "It's Miley." I'm like, this motherfucking bitch. It's Miley Cyrus releasing new music. You guys, Miley pranked us.
It was hilarious. I also freaked out and I didn't see their messages in our group chat at first. And so when I got it, I'm like, oh my God, is this work? What's going on? What did I do? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not calling because if it's that important, they will call me. And then I saw your guys' messages and I'm like, oh my freaking God, it's Miley. And it was so funny. I was literally laughing when we found out that it was Miley. And then she posted on Instagram about it. And it was super funny. It was like me sending those cryptic ass messages to fans. And she put about a bunch of screenshots of different fans. And it was so funny. Like there was one who was like, who is this? And it comes back, it's Miley. And then it was responded with a photo and it said, oh, well, this is his girlfriend. And it was so funny, just looking at those messages. I'm so glad that it's like she pranked all of us. And honestly, what a kind of good way to do it because it definitely gets people intrigued, wanting to go check out that music or the new music.
And by the way, in response to that exact message, we love a guy who subscribes to Miley Text, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, I was a little bit disappointed though because the message and I called them was very cryptic and there wasn't really a lot of meat to it. And I thought she was going to drop music on Friday and she didn't. So I was a little bit disappointed by that because I'm like, okay, why are you going to call us us call you on Wednesday? And then you're not going to drop any music. You're just leaving us hanging, Miley girl. But she was in the studio with Dua Lipa and a producer. I forgot what his name was. So her and Dua Lipa match made in heaven. Like, I'm so excited for that music. Speaking of some new music Friday came in hot this week because we got some new motherfucking music from Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, honey. And she drops this motherfucking video on the same night for WAP, which you could do Google yourself and find out what that acronym stands for. But on the YouTube version, it's Wet and Gushy. What rhymes with wet and gushy? Let us know in the comments down below, honey.
It honestly was so good. And the little teaser, I'm so glad she dropped a music video because I love music videos. And there was a teaser. Kylie put up a teaser and I'm like, oh my God, Kylie Jenner is in it. And I'm like so excited. And I'm watching the music video and I do have to say, I was like, oh, she just walks down the hallway and opens the door and that's it. Like, I mean, whatever, you know, it's a cameo. But I was like expecting more, honestly. But it was so good and very feminist.
Yes, very inclusive. I will say, I think a little shade was being thrown to Nicki because Nicki is known to be not very inclusive. I have a bone to pick with her right now, so we ain't gonna get into it. Maybe we'll get into it later. But speaking of Kylie, there's a photo on Instagram of Kylie sitting next to Cardi, and there's a mirror behind them, and Miss Kris Jenner, momager, is in the back in the mirror taking the picture. So fucking cute. Like,
and she captioned it, "You're doing great, sweetie." Just like the whole part and like thank you next and like how we always like the meme that was going around between them. So funny.
I wonder if Kylie doesn't know how to bust a move because she should have definitely deserved her own room. But maybe she just was like, I don't want to like dance, but like all you have to do with her big ass is just stand there and go like like that and like you know.
Unfortunately, you guys cannot see Cassidy, but she just backed that ass up.
Oh, I've been listening to it all morning, girl, and you know this is my type of jam.
Honestly, I have a confession. I haven't watched it. I want to listen to the song.
Wow, you better get on that.
I know.
You guys, Anna has been MIA all week. She had a really hard week, so please show her some love. Go follow her on Instagram at @acaroline.
Really, what I was going to say is make sure you get into her DMs and yell at her and tell her to go watch the music video.
Oh, that too.
She's in the Try Hard Doghouse of the Week.
Oh,
I'm guilty. Okay, I also have a confession. Like Cassidy mentioned, I really did have a hard week, so Mama wanted to have a little, you know, fun, and had a little too much to drink yesterday night, and now I am suffering the consequences. So, little fun try hard fact. I picked on this whole last segment.
These are her confessions.
Oh no, girl. Well, yeah, if Anna's a little bit quiet today, guys, just cut her some slack because she's not feeling good. Also, I just wanted to quickly bring up Instagram is being cray-cray right now. They just released their reels. And I will say, you know, Mama is a marketing little genius over here. I just put up my first reel and I only got 30 likes, but I just wanted to try it out. I wanted to see what the hot new product was. And, you know, it's not the same as my friend over there, Tickety Talk. I added a poll to our Instagram at the Try Hard Girls. Go follow us. And 100% people voted that they like TikTok better. I will say though that like people are really capitalizing on the reels on Instagram, and for example, some people who are quote unquote Instagram famous and have a lot of followers on there weren't really getting the same feedback on their TikTok. So I feel like it benefits the people who have a lot of fans on Instagram, but it really doesn't benefit the TikTokers. What are your guys' thoughts? Have you tried reels? Have you seen them? What do you think?
I have not tried them, but I will say I think it was very peculiar that they came out when all of this stuff is going on with TikTok, and it has been, you know, discussed how Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Instagram because Facebook bought it, he does a lot of things that helps Trump quite a bit. And
slimy.
Very slimy. He's had to, you know, with ads and everything, he's had to talk in front of Congress and the House, etc. But so it's very interesting with the timing. But also on the flip side of that, I think Instagram, they're coming out with this because if TikTok's going to get banned, well, they want to be the new, site that gets all of the people. But Instagram, I will say it. I said it once and I'll say it again. They copy everything. They are not original. And I love Instagram. Don't get me wrong. It's probably my top used app. I'm not even lying. But they copied Snapchat. They copied TikTok now.
They pretty much erased Snapchat.
Yeah, they did. Totally.
No one uses Snapchat anymore.
Actually, I agree. But I'm also going to be honest, a huge amount of people still use Snapchat and are shocked whenever they're like, wait, people don't use it? I'm like, yeah, no, people don't use it. I had a girl that is true. I blocked her because I hadn't posted anything in over a year. Like, wow, nice. And she was joking, but she wasn't. She's like, wow, you unblocked me. Now I can see your stories. I'm like, girl, I actually don't use Snapchat and I don't post anything. I never blocked you. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, if you were to see all my friends, the amount that have stories, it's literally maybe 10 stories now.
Yeah, it's definitely not a lot, but I do agree with you. Some places still use Snapchat a lot. I went to college over in the Midwest, and a lot of them still use Snapchat. Every time I sign on, because I love looking at my memories on there because those are funny. I'll see stories, and they're all of my friends from the Midwest, and a couple from where Anna and I worked when we were fresh out of college. A couple of our coworkers still use it there, but yeah, I'm never on Snapchat anymore. And Instagram just swooped in, took that clientele overall. And it's kind of a little nerve-wracking because also in the sense of if you think about economic-wise and how Instagram is becoming Instagram/Facebook, this big monopoly. And that's really scary just in general. You never want one platform to have all the control.
Yeah, I actually am thinking about deleting my Facebook. The only thing is that I have so many photos on there that I don't want to let go. And so that's the only thing holding me back. But yeah. I hate all the notifications I get. It's like my long lost cousin's sister's friend. I get a notification that she just uploaded a post. I'm like, I don't want to know that. It's weird.
That is weird. I don't get tons of notifications like that, but I'm with you. I would delete Facebook if it wasn't for the fact that all my extended family are always on there using it. And I do kind of seeing what they're up to, my cousins, that kind of thing. And I have a work, there's all these Facebook groups that I'm always looking into.
Yeah.
But the actual Facebooking of myself, no. I would totally delete it. But the groups I'm in, girls, I get so much good tea in some of those Facebook groups. So it would be hard to get rid of that. But I totally hear what you mean, Cass.
For sure. I also really don't delete it because I have to use it for work in a sense. And then I also have a lot of family that I talk to through there. But then again, I have WhatsApp, so I could do it through there too. But this person had a child, or it's kind of nice to keep up. Back to the reels. How do you find, first of all, now it's popping up. Yesterday, it wasn't showing on mine. I was like, if I were to want to make one, how do I make one? And now I see how you can do it. But number two, how, on TikTok, you have your homepage where you can just see what's trending for reels. You can see, it's I feel like it's easier for you to actually get access to reels. And on Instagram, I get it. Instagram is different than reels. It just happens to be a part of Instagram. How do you even get to go and explore reels on the app?
So I think it might start popping up at the top, but I haven't been able to find it. When I opened my Instagram, it showed me, this is new, it's reels. And then the little circle went to the top and then it disappeared. So I think eventually maybe they might add it to the top, but maybe they're trying to curate more content of people putting reels in so that there's enough content in there. Or
I've only seen them as posts, people have to post them, kind of an IGTV kind of a thing. But I wonder if it'll just end up becoming a story where you can just post it on your story.
You guys, I just looked and found it. You go to your search bar at the top, it's reels, and you click it and you click through and swipe up just like TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, I can't believe that they haven't been freaking sued for copyright infringement and things like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Instagram's such a big, powerful company. They have Facebook, Mark Zucker following them, you know? So,
well, hopefully TikTok gets acquired by Microsoft, like was reported, so that Microsoft can come in and be like, get the fuck out of here, Instagram Reels.
Yeah, I don't think TikTok's actually going to be going anywhere. Personally, I don't think it actually will.
I don't think so either, but I hope it's not like a Snapchat situation where like everyone just starts doing Reels instead. I will say that the
I don't think
capabilities aren't the same.
Yeah, they're not. And there's actually another platform that I think's been around maybe even longer than TikTok, if not around the same, which is very similar. It's called Triller.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of, when the first big news of like TikTok might be gone by, remember when it was like that Saturday because TRUMP was like, I think by tomorrow it might be gone, you know, whatever. There was like these, I don't know if they were like the Sway, the Hype, or the Honky Dory House, whatever they were.
What are the houses?
I don't remember, but there was like 4 guys that apparently were, you know, like super big, but they're on like Straight Guy TikTok, and I don't watch that because they ain't funny. And so, but they all went to Triller and they're like, yeah, you know, whatever. But Triller, I hear, is really similar to TikTok. And they've been around really long, because I know in the beginning, before TikTok really blew up, a lot of famous YouTubers had these Triller accounts and they were trying to get people on it, but you could totally tell it was unauthentic. At least in my opinion, when these YouTubers back then were trying to get people to get on Triller, you know, they'd like post it like, follow me on Triller, blah, 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 you know, doing their little whatevers. I think TikTok really blew up because of the dancing first. And they honestly did some genius marketing when they switched from Musical.ly to TikTok. I mean, that was some real good itch, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, I said this about Instagram stories, so I could be totally wrong, but I truly don't think Reels is going to skyrocket. I really don't.
I think it's a fun addition. I think people are already utilizing it pretty well. But I agree. I don't think TikTok's going anywhere. I think people use TikTok for, you know, certain videos, and yeah, I hope it stays. But Instagram, you're being a little shady over here.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of shade and some other TikToker, Instagram YouTubers, James Charles and Miley MUA came under fire this week. I don't know if you guys saw.
Again, wow.
Right? But both of them tweeted out how celebs that don't wear makeup shouldn't come out with makeup brands, which, like, okay, yeah, I see where they're saying. However, it started being speculated that they were both talking about Alicia Keys. And then they both confirmed they were talking about Alicia Keys when they both came out with apology statements. And James directly tagged Alicia Keys in his apology. Manny did not, and his wasn't. I think James's apology at least came off very authentic. But then again, this kid, he's apologizing every other month, so he's just also used to how to apologize correctly. But it sounded really authentic. But they didn't realize, they didn't do their due diligence, they didn't do their research and development like they should have, because Alicia Keys is not coming out with a makeup line, partnering with e.l.f. Eyes Lip Face to come out with a skincare brand, which totally is, I feel like, on par with Alicia Keys, because she doesn't wear makeup and her skin always looks flawless.
Airbrush.
So what do you guys think about that?
First of all, I need her skincare routine now. I honestly feel like this is very her. I'm really happy that she's doing this. I've always wanted to kind of get like a skincare routine from her. Like, you know how Vogue does those like skincare routines or day routines, whatever. I would love to find out what it is, and if buying this product is going to get me half of her freaking skin.
We also know with e.l.f. that it's going to be at a really good price point. So
Yes.
It's going to be really available for a lot of people. And I think that's already great. And I actually was going to start buying some e.l.f. products because they're doing a lot better in making sure that their products are sustainable and using good good ingredients. So I'm proud of her for that. I will say that this is very hypocritical of James for saying this, because I did hear a little bit of information on this. Everyone thought that he was actually talking about Charlie and Dixie, famous TikToker friends, because they actually came out with a Morphe brand, but they wear like no makeup. So, I mean, Exhibit A, you're saying, you're in your tweet, you're saying that you don't think people who are not in the beauty community should make things like this. You're literally telling your best friends this right now.
Wait,
a lot of people also thought he was maybe talking about Shane Dawson.
But I feel like he's not released anything in a while, so why would that even be?
No, he did just release some new stuff. It wasn't makeup. I think it was more merch, and people are upset about that too, but that's a whole nother issue.
But I was like makeup-wise though, because he's talking about makeup.
No, totally. I was just saying, like, that was something on Twitter I was seeing a lot too, is people were like, before they knew who it was about, they were like, Shane Dawson, you know, just because I think of all the drama with that going on right now.
Question. So that TikTok girl and her sister, they have their own makeup brand?
No, they don't.
They're the face.
Okay, yes, with Morphe, correct? Or with Morphe? With
Morphe. And they didn't come out with any of the products. They're just the face of it. Kind of like James was a cover girl when he started. You know, it's not like they came out with products.
I think it's actually really smart marketing-wise for for Morphe to try to get a younger demographic, getting those TikTok people. They also, I think, did a collaboration with what's her name, Maddie, Lucia's dancer, and her sister,
Maddie Ziegler.
Yeah, and like, I mean,
Cassidy said Maddie Ziegler like she has a bone to pick with her. Cassidy's like, Ziegler.
Oh no! I actually really like her.
No, yeah. It was just funny. I'm like, ooh, what's the hot tea, sis?
Cassidy's like, I've got an elastic heart.
I also want to say, how could anyone be rude to Alicia Keys? She's literally God's gift on this earth. Like, who can be mean to her? Like, she actually is such a gem of a woman.
She really is. And her fans came in hot to defend her. Before it was even like official, it was them. Honestly, if it was even a makeup brand and she doesn't wear makeup, I honestly still think they would have had to issue this apology, because her fans would come hard. Because her fans are stans, full life, like me. I didn't realize that's who he was talking about. But yeah, they came in hard. So, I mean, Alicia Keys needs to be protected at all costs. She is one of America's sweethearts. End of discussion.
End of discussion, period, honey.
Dude, these influencers, I don't think we'll ever get a month when there isn't any YouTuber influencer drama.
Oh no, and it's really helping during this quarantine, is all I gotta say. Is I'm just like, ooh, what's today gonna bring, you know?
You know what's funny? I feel like growing up, we really grew up in the tabloid era. Like, it was, I would not want to grow up being a celebrity during that time. I mean, it's still hard now with social media, but it's just a different kind.
Well, technology and the ease of access to it really grew with us.
Yes.
So we really got like the nasty part of it.
Yes, we did.
In the beginning. I mean, it's not great now either. It's still pretty nasty. But it's definitely different and better. But
it's funny because we were used to like the Paris Hiltons, Britney Spears, like those kind of like A quote listers, and now I feel like we've really been focusing on but like, you know, like social media has really been focusing mostly on like the younger like influencers. Like it makes sense that there's a platform for that because there are fans, and you know.
Speaking of young quote-unquote influencers, king of drama himself, Jake Paul, got raided by the FBI. Yes, you heard me correctly. The Federal Bureau of Investigation went into Jake Paul's house, and no one knows why. There are serious speculations, and Becca, I know you've heard a lot of information on this, so give us the scoop.
So I read a couple different articles. I also listened to, shout out, I know it's controversial, but Drama Alert on YouTube did a really good segment on this, and actually had an interview with his previous manager who gave us some really good intel. And typically I take that kind of stuff with a grain of salt because usually it's because they ended really badly. I mean, when everyone ends really badly with Team 10, that there's something to be said. But this guy actually kept it kind of even keel, and he did not indicate Jake necessarily as being this, horrible person. So it made me want to believe everything he was saying because it wasn't super emotion based. It seemed very factual based. But anyway, so what it seems to be, and I think the overall consensus thing with TMZ is Jake Paul hangs out with this guy named and I might pronounce the name incorrectly, Armin Izzati.
Trash.
Yes, he is a convicted criminal. Sex trafficking, drug dealing, bad guy. Let's just say he used to lure women into a prostitution ring with a promise of becoming really wealthy, protection. He would protect them and help them grow super big. And so the consensus is that this raid has to do with him and his, how close he is to this guy, because what wasn't as in the mainstream media as Jake Paul's raid is the same day Izzati's Las Vegas mansion was also raided. So it seems to be like there is a correlation between the two of them.
This completely makes sense. I don't know much about this specific story because it is and was still developing. However, a long time ago, well, not that long, I probably want to say this year or earlier this year or last year, sometime last year, Cole, the guy that's now friends with Tana, the makeup artist who was part of the Team 10 house, when he left, he made a video and he stated that guy is bad news and that guy was threatening his life and that he'd seen him do some shady things. So this all makes sense to me. And I did see that police took a lot of firearms from Jake's home.
And I know Cassidy loves the blinds just as much as me because they always end up coming out. So I found this on Twitter. Someone by the name of Crush Cherry Bomb tweeted out this blind item that came out
the day of the raid, right?
Or the day of the raid, but it was to say who it was. But
there have been many more though.
There has been, and it's blind item number 3. One of the bigger YouTube stars on the planet is not only a huge drug dealer, but is also distributing porn with unknowing participants, which I think could easily it's Jake. You know what I mean? This just happened. He's involved with Izzati, it's clearly about him. And this person says, whatever the FBI was looking for at Jake Paul's home required a warrant, a lot of backup and manpower because a small militia left his pad in armored trucks and seized a shit ton of guns too. And it was, when you saw those, I don't know if you guys saw those videos. I mean, it was like 50 officers, armored vehicles. And the thing that I think is super telling too is the warrant is sealed. So, and I think that shows that this is much larger than just some guns in the house. I really do think it has to do with this prostitution ring.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty telling. I mean, the FBI in general, I'm not surprised it's a sealed document because, first of all, they don't want anyone interfering with whatever is going on. So this is crazy. I mean, Jake Paul is not shy with this drama shit, but this is like next level stuff. So I'm surprised that Tana Mojo hasn't come out saying anything, being the thirsty bitch she is.
Girl, she hasn't said anything about other things she should talk about. Like,
the manager actually came out, and I mean, we already knew this, but that their wedding completely staged from the beginning. It was never going to be a real thing, which we all knew. But it was completely staged. The fight that broke up, completely staged. That kid earned, he even said, $30,000 to start that fake fight. And then he said Arman Izzati stole the money that night.
What's that one song? Do anything for clout. Do anything for clout.
That is their life.
Do anything for clout.
That's the thing.
That is literally their life.
Sometimes they need to, it's just that whole cop
That's too many
mentality.
blurred lines. Honestly, it creates this, again, it's like Instagram, right? It creates this like false reality. And I feel like it's so damaging to like these young kids. You know what's the most disgusting, sad thing is like Jake Paul, who's this horrible role model, like horrible. His main viewers are under like 15.
I'm interested to see what's really going on. Obviously, it's not good by the looks of it. And I don't like cancel culture. However, when I think it's time that he's taken down.
100%, I agree.
I hate talking about the Paul brothers because I don't want to give them the time of my day. But I mean, it is juicy gossip. And sometimes it needs to be spoken about because there's people that have power that shouldn't have power.
Mm-hmm. From one psycho to another psycho, guess what also started this week? The preliminary hearings for Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. We talked about them, way back when they first got arrested. What was it? Maybe
No, they weren't. Wait, had they just gotten arrested, or the kids were just missing? I don't even remember.
They were just being reported on. They weren't able to be arrested
They're
yet.
angry that they weren't arrested yet, right? Yeah.
Oh, maybe not. I just remember we talked about them being in Hawaii. We probably even talked about them a couple times, maybe, but we are going to continue to follow this case and keep you guys up to date as well. But so their preliminary hearing started. Lori actually waived her preliminary hearing. And what do you guys think that the reason for her waiving it would be?
What technically is a preliminary hearing? Is it just addressing like your bail? And here, let me look it up. Okay. Within some criminal justice systems, a preliminary hearing is a proceeding after a criminal complaint has been filed by the prosecutor to determine whether there is enough evidence to require a trial.
Honey, there's enough.
With that being said, there is definitely enough evidence. I bet that she is mentally insane. Not to put like a title on her mental wellness, but like there is something wrong. Yeah. And I wonder if her lawyer was just like, let's just not deal with this, the publicity of it all. Like, there is enough evidence, like, we don't need to go through this.
Yeah, that could totally be. And at the same time, though, it's interesting that Chad Daybell then didn't waive it because, you know, they're both the same. Maybe he doesn't get that option because of the bodies were actually found on his property. I don't know. But that preliminary hearing, man, there was one day, you guys, it was like almost the entire day. That's all I did was watch those hearings because we heard a phone conversation between Chad and Lori the day that the search warrant was issued and the cops and the police were on his property. Lori was in jail already and he was not. And you could tell in that phone conversation. I mean, you guys, this was so interesting to listen. It was on June 9th, which was the day of the search. It was a very short and quiet phone call. And you could tell it sounded like he already knew that they were going to find those kids. And it was so hard to listen to that. He sounded very scared almost, very soft spoken. And she kept talking. She was a little bit more chipper, like, well, what's going on? And he left that call. The end of the call was she asking, should I call you later? And he said, I don't know. We'll talk later. I think he already knew he was getting arrested. They were going to find it. He wasn't going to be free to answer a phone call.
I wonder if she also waived that preliminary hearing to look better to the court because it's saving the court money and the people money. So maybe they'll look lightly more on her in the future. And I bet the route that her lawyers are going to take is that she knew nothing about the kids. Like, blame it all on him. Let's build our case against him so that you get less time in jail and he gets the fucking death sentence. Like,
I thought about that too when I'm watching this. I'm like, I wonder, is she going to try and be like, I had no idea?
I was at work and I literally, sometimes I am able to listen to something while I'm doing paperwork. And I had the opportunity, but of course, I kept going into freaking recess, the live stream. I found it more interesting. I was at the part where one of the FBI officers.
Mhm.
Agents. I said he was describing what he did, and I was like, wow, like your job is pretty cool.
Was it the head FBI agent of the search, or were you
No,
listening
he's
to
the
the
one
guy
that's talking
who?
about the phones, the one that like reads all your messages.
Yeah.
And I'm just amazed at how much they do. And then when he's talking about all his trainings, I'm like, okay, enough. We understand he is definitely like qualified. Like let's move on. I was kind of getting tired of it just being that. I'm like, let's move on to the next thing. Yeah, in the end of the day, I have a feeling that Chad will probably get a higher sentencing just because it seems that he's the one that took those poor children's lives. And it seems that obviously he buried them and disposed of the bodies.
Well, the rumor is that Lori Vallow's brother was the one that actually killed them, because the reason he even went to Chad Daybell is because his cell phone was pinging there that same day.
See, I don't know. I haven't been able to look
her
at
brother's
stuff.
dead now, so
I hope anyone who knows any inkling about the kids, like, goes to jail for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Amen. I agree.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's so horrible.
All right, guys. Well, this episode was jam-packed. Of course, we will keep you up to date with anything that comes up from this case, since it is still seems like it's still going to take a while until justice is served. All right, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us everywhere at the Try Hard Girls: Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Tickety Talk, everywhere, you know. And while you're at it, don't forget to follow our personal accounts at acaroline19,
at McFarbeck,
At Cass Kardash.
and with that, the tryhards are
out.